sans faute.
Carrément.
Parce que...
Ok, c'est parti.
Ça tombe.
You have just released Introdução, an acoustic EP of 3 songs. It feels very organic, intimate and vulnerable. Can you tell us more about it?
Yeah, first I felt like releasing a project with only my guitar and my voice would definitely like fit in the big legacy of Brazilian bossa nova artists. And since my next album is really inspired on like my Brazilian culture and my Brazilian roots, that's how you say it, roots, okay, my Brazilian roots. So that was one part of my motivation to make this project, and the other one was to make something that would show a part of me that maybe people aren't used to see or didn't expect, that was more intimate and more minimalistic. So yeah, that's basically the impulse that made me make this project.
Okay. Is it an idea of what to expect from your future album?
In a way, I feel like I would say like the album has definitely some vulnerable moments, but it also has some really more like powerful and maybe more produced parts, and I feel like on the album I try to put my contradictions as an artist, because sometimes I want to make things really simple and really like clean and minimalistic, and sometimes I really want to put like everything, all my ideas at the same place, and I felt like the album has this vibe of switching between more vulnerable moments and more like powerful and strong pieces. So yeah, I felt like it's just a meeting of my contradictions.
Yes,
I think.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
You've been away from the industry for a couple of years now.
Yeah.
Since your work as Dream Koala, what was the journey to this new project like?
Well, I think like I didn't like I didn't like move away from the industry on purpose. It's just that I wanted to make an album that really sounded like me, and I didn't want to make it. I really wanted my album to sound like nothing else. So it really took me a long time to achieve the sound I had in my head, and to just like make it happen. And you know, I made a lot of research about Brazil and about like the music my parents used to listen to when I was a kid and all that thing, and to incorporate that in my own artistic practice. I think it really took a few years, like to basically work until the moment I was satisfied with myself. And you know, the album had like different versions. It had a lot of different songs. It had like, we made different mixes where we recorded my voice in different places. You know, it was really like a long, hard work. But I'm really like happy and proud of it now. So yeah, I can't wait to release it and share it with everyone.
And that's the most important, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
How do you feel your sound has evolved?
I feel like I feel like when I was younger, I was more looking at inspiration elsewhere, and I feel like now I'm more interested in me in a way, but not like in a more, not in like an egoistic way, but I feel like before I felt like there wasn't enough things in myself and in my life to make good music. Like I felt like I had to seek for inspiration somewhere else. And now I feel like actually when you try to make something that really sounds like you, it's like an infinite loop. Like you always find new inspiration. I don't know how to say that, but I feel like what changed is the way I make music and the way I get inspired from. It comes more from the inside now. I mean, this is how I feel, at least.
Can you remember when you first decided to pursue music?
Well, like, you know what, like, my parents are musicians, so I always grew up with a lot of music and a lot of musicians around me. So when I was a kid, I didn't want to make music at all. I wanted to make movies. So, like, it was really later, like when I was 13 or 14 years old, that I kind of fell in love with the guitar actually. Like I was listening to a lot of bands and one day I just had a guitar and with an amp and I just fell in love with that feeling. And it was really, I don't know how to explain, but it felt like it was always around me, but I didn't see it, and it only took me a while until I understood that actually music was my way to express myself. Because I was thinking like, you know, I wanted to make movies, then I wanted to draw, then I wanted to make a bunch of stuff. But I feel like music is really the more natural way for me to express myself now. So yeah, it was pretty late actually.
Okay. Your lyrics feel really connected to nature, fire, ice, stars as well, life and death. Is it something that particularly inspires you?
Yeah, I feel like those themes. I mean, when I write, sometimes I don't try to think too much, and I feel like on more like subconscious level, it's always kind of the same images that come up, and I feel like nature is something that, you know, it's like it has at the same time it has like birth and it's always moving in itself, and you have destruction and you have death, and those two things are really combined in like every part of nature. And I think that as an artist, we always do the same thing, you know, like we create new stuff and we destroy stuff and then we start again and we're not satisfied, and we move on. And I feel like this feeling is really present in nature. And but I don't really try to think too much about it. It's just that I don't know why I just write some things, and there's one moment where I just talk about water or like about, you know, fire, and it's just natural. Yeah, it just comes to me like that.
Do you have a favorite lyric you've written?
I'd say that on my album, like there's a music that's not yet out yet, but there's one lyric where I say les larmes que nous pleurons ne nous appartiennent pas, and it means like the tears that we cry don't belong to us. And it's like, because this was inspired like because my mom always, like, she always taught me that all our ancestors, they lived inside of us, and that sometimes our emotions and how we feel interact with how they feel and how they manifest through us. And so I was thinking about this image of your emotions, they belong to you, but they also belong to all the things that live inside of you but you may be not aware of. And I felt like a big part of the album has this feeling because I was really inspired a lot by Brazilian music and Afro-Brazilian rhythms and percussions. And so I felt like I had to be really connected to my ancestry and to all this culture that is like, how to say, this legacy that is just in generation to generation and is passed on through music, through like religion, through language and all those things. So yeah.
What is your writing process?
My writing process.
How is it?
Yes, it's kind of chaotic. Like I don't have, like as I told you, it's like I don't really have a special method. Like sometimes it starts with a melody, and like I take my phone and I just record like an idea of melody, and then later I have some lyrics. I'm like, oh, maybe they can match together, and then sometimes I have an image too. Like I have some image or something that pops up, and I'm like, I don't know what melody I'm used or what lyrics or whatever, but I want to feel like this image, you know. And sometimes it starts with the lyrics too. Like I have some words or some text, and I'm like, okay, I want to make music with that, but I don't know yet how to do it, and I really let the process to be like really natural. And sometimes like I don't even make music for like weeks or months. Like, you know, I know that some people really play all day, like every day they practice and stuff. But I'm more like, sometimes I just not feeling it, and I'm like, yeah, I won't write this week, or. And then I spend like 2 weeks and I make like 6 songs and in a row, and then I stop and then I make something else. You know, I really try to not to organize or to make a routine with my music. I like to keep a lot of freedom inside of how I work.
You sing in both French and Portuguese and manage to seamlessly blend the two. Is that instinctive or more purposeful?
I felt like at first it was kind of like purposeful at first because I was used to write and sing in English, and I knew pretty early in the writing process that I wanted to make an album that had French in it. And then I felt, okay, I just can't make an album in French without Portuguese in it, because I felt like I needed both languages to make something that really would reflect like the person I am. And then I think that when it comes to choosing which part would be in French and which part would be in Portuguese, it was really instinctive. Like sometimes I had a melody and then I was recording an idea and it was like la 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 la, and then I started saying some words in Portuguese or in French depending on the melody, on the rhythm, because I feel like the like French language has a really strong rhythm inside of each word, and how the words are like, sorry, start. I feel like the French words and French phrases already have pretty strong rhythm, and I felt like Portuguese was more, I could morph it, like I could more play with it and put it in more melodies. So both of it complemented pretty well. And I also had like some really funny comments with like Brazilian people who are like, who say to me like in my comments like, I don't understand French, but I feel like you are singing in French with a Portuguese pronouncing, or I don't know, but some people made some comments like they felt I was trying to mix the two languages, and I really like it. Like I was really happy to have this feedback, because it's kind of, I try to make French sound a little bit like Portuguese and Portuguese sound a little bit like French. You know, I like to kind of play with it. So yeah, that's the process with the languages, pretty much.
How do you think these two distinctively different cultures have influenced you?
I feel like it's always difficult to say like which part comes like from the Brazilian part and which part of my personality comes from the French part, because first like both of my parents are Brazilian, so I feel like I feel like my home and my family has always been a really like Brazilian place. Like I don't know how to explain that, but I felt like at home was more like Brazil and outside was more like France. So I felt like stepping inside and outside of home was like switching between different culture and different way of thinking about life and a way to communicate. It's kind of abstract, but and in how it influenced me, I feel like first in a musical way. Like I remember that my parents, they always, I mean, how to say that? I feel like my music really was a way for my parents to um, to give me a part of their culture, because they choose, like, I mean, they are both Brazilian, but they choose to make a family in France, so it's really far away from their house, from their homeland. And so I felt like music really was an easy way to transmit like their memories and their culture and everything to me. So it really influenced me in that way, on an artistic level. And then I feel like growing up in Paris and between Paris and the suburbs of Paris, I feel like Paris is a really is a place which is really segmented, and I feel like growing up here really made me want to like break barriers and break like boundaries, because I felt like Paris had a lot of boundaries inside of it, you know. So I think it kind of influenced me in that way. But yeah, I don't know about that's what I have to say about it.
Okay. Great. You often produce your own music, as well as collaborating with other producers, like superpowers. How does that relationship work?
So, sorry. So yeah, usually, I mean, until this album, I really produced all my music. Like, I always feel like I always consider myself as a half producer and half like singer. Like it's really both of these practice are important to me. But I felt like with the album, I didn't want to produce only myself, because I wanted to have more. I wanted to have something else, like something that I didn't have inside of me that someone else could bring to the project. And Superpose is actually a really good friend of mine for a long time. Like we started making music. I mean, we met really early on when we started making music, and we always supported each other. And I remember when I told him about this project, like that I wanted to make an album, he was really supportive from the beginning, and he didn't at first, he wasn't like, okay, good, I want to produce with you this album, but it's just that he was in the process so early on that when I showed him the demos, and then I showed him my ideas that I wanted, and we were just talking, and then it evolved into more like studio and producing a relationship. And I felt like he really helped me to see more clear about a few ideas that I had, because he's really like an artist and a producer who is really great at synthesizing something. Like sometimes you come up with ideas and you don't really know how to put them together, and he will be like, okay, this could be the beginning, this could be the end, this could be like, his brain is really like good at synthesizing things and at just putting words and thoughts on things that I felt were more instinctive or more raw, and he really helped me to give a structure to all of it. So yeah, it was great work and friendship, like a relationship with him.
Okay. You have not performed on stage since 2017, and this past year has really hit gig culture. How do you feel about embarking on shows now?
It's sure that it's not easy. Like in France, yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going to play like a show in a venue and like, you know, like we used to do for a moment. Like for the moment, the venues are shut down. But I feel like, you know, just have to get creative. Like my music is there. I want to share with people, and I guess I would just have to find out new ways to share with people like the work I'm making with some amazing musicians that I met and that I'm going to work with for my live shows. But yeah, I feel like I feel like I'm speaking from the artist point of view, but I feel like there's a lot of people who work in the music industry and the gigs industry, and that people don't really see, and I think like they are really affected, maybe more than the artists. Like all the little jobs that make a show possible, but that people don't know. And I hope that we will soon like just be able to start living like before and just like enjoying going to clubs, like dancing and listening to music and playing together. And yeah, I just can't wait for it to come back.
I can't wait for that.
Soon, hopefully, it will be soon.
Introdução also gave a sample of your visual language as an artist. Do you have a particular vision when it comes to this?
Yeah, definitely. Like, as I told you, like when I write music, most of the time, I have some images or some movies or like some things that pops up, like images that are related to the music, and I know, like I really communicate with a lot of photos and a lot of drawings. Like when we were in the studio, like we had a lot of paintings and screenshots from movies and video games and a lot of things that I used to show together to superpose, and I was like, yeah, I want this track to sound like this movie, I want this track to sound like this, and we really connected on that level. And same with the music videos, you know, I mean, I don't direct them myself, but when I was a kid I wanted to make movies and I wanted to make like animated movies. And so yeah, I just dropped this music video for Novo Mundo, which is like an animated music video. And yeah, it was really like kind of making a dream, like a childhood dream come true. And I really like to collaborate with visual artists, but I always like to have a conversation like with the artist I work with. Like it's difficult for me to just like give my song and let people just make visuals and work on it without me being part of it. Like I really like to exchange ideas and kind of share the process with them. And yeah, even for the album, there will be a lot of visuals that will come in the year with really like, I'd say, a really specific aesthetic. Like the same way I wanted to make the album sound like nothing else, I really wanted to look like nothing else either. So to me, both of these are really connected.
So the big question is, what's next? Indeed.
So what's next? So I'm releasing my album like this year, so this is already like a big thing for me because it's like my first album. Then also I'm working on the next music videos too, and those are a really important project for me. And hopefully soon I will be able to go back on stage and just like play with my band and meet some people, and yeah, just all music, love, and you know, all the things that are important, hopefully. That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.